Today I want to talk about a big misconception in the trading industry and in business, online entrepreneurship, and all that digital AI, capitalize on AI before it's too late to get rich. So, a lot of influencers, a lot of gurus preach that you have a small, limited time window to capitalize on this and this opportunity before it goes away, before it's too late. And all these conspiracy theories about you need to get rich within like the next 2 years, the next 4 years, or otherwise it's too late. While that may have some truth to it, and you shouldn't be too lazy or too passive, you shouldn't worry either. You shouldn't think that you need to achieve this and this in a short period of time. Because at the end of the day, a lot of our fears, a lot of our doubts are just illusions. It's just an illusion that if you don't get rich within, let's say, 2 years from trading, then you've failed, then it's too late, all of that stuff. Thing is, nothing is going to change if you just think about the present moment. If you just stop, cancel out all the noise, and just think about your life, then you're not really suffering here and now. And if you would skip 2 years in time, like 2027, at this exact date, this exact moment, then nothing spectacular would have changed. You're not suffering, you're fine. And that's the thing. I was observing the market yesterday and today, and I didn't trade. Even though I had an opportunity which is not aligned with my plan, but I saw an opportunity. I've seen the exact same opportunity in my backtesting a million times. I know that sometimes it works, but all the other days it doesn't work, will eat away at the profit, and it's not really a profitable strategy. It will just mess with my psychology, my mindset, so I didn't do anything. And why am I doing it this way? Because I don't care about trying to do something insane today or yesterday. I wait for my best opportunities and I execute. And people always get this sense that you need to do it quickly, but that's just an illusion. You don't need to do anything quickly. You need to do it properly. And in trading as well, all you need to do is wait for your good opportunity. And it sounds so simple, but me personally, I've been struggling with this like all my trading career basically. Obviously, I've made most of my impulsive trades on funded challenges. Obviously, I've been more disciplined on funded accounts because I'm not that stupid, but I've a lot of times felt like I need to do something even though my best setups don't present themselves. And that doesn't mean I'm not profitable. It just means that even me, a profitable trader, feel like I need to have a challenge, some sort of challenge that I can execute more trades on. And what ends up happening is you look back, and I was reflecting on this earlier, even though those times where I didn't have that good strategies that I have today, even then I had moments where I was up like 4%, 6%, 7% on a challenge, and every single time I lost it. And then I just thought, what if I just had proper psychology back then and just waited? Even then, when I wasn't that good of a technical trader, I would still have made profits. So that goes to show that even then, when I wasn't that good, I could still have made profits. And I always try to remind myself that it you have to differentiate between wanting to be in the market for dopamine, for all of that other stuff, and wanting to be in the market simply to make money. Most of those days where you don't get your best setups, you can't really say that you're in the market to make money, because if that were the case, then you could just wait for your best setups and risk more. If you were only there to make money, right? Then you could just wait for, let's say you just get one A+ setup that week. Then you wait for that one A+ setup, you risk more or you just risk 1%. Like, that's up to you, but all those other days, you're not executing because you want to make money. You're executing because you're just not able to wait, and you get this sense of, okay, it's Monday, Tuesday, now it's Wednesday, and I still don't have a good setup. And then Thursday, if you don't get a good setup, then it's just 4 days without a good setup. But then you feel like you get this restlessness, like you feel like you have to do something, and then you convince yourself it's just a small trade, and then then you lose it all. It's just one small trade, let's just try this. You just want to get something right. But then again, like, it won't change anything if you trade like that. You have to always ask yourself, what's your current skill level? You can never reach further than your skill level when you're trading live. You can always develop more, backtest more, learn something new, but you have to be honest with yourself about your skill level. Some traders may be able to trade 3-4 times a week because they actually have the technical skills to find good setups 3-4 times a week. If that's the case, go for it. But let's say for one specific week, you just get one A+ setup or one good setup. Doesn't have to be A+, but one good setup. Then you have to accept that that's your current skill level. That was what you were able to find in the market that week. And if you try to do something more, it doesn't work. But if you just do that and you stay disciplined, then over time you will get profits. And I don't care how small your profit is, you will get that profit. Obviously, people want to do something quick. They want to reach something quick. But the thing is, nothing is going to change anyways. Like, I can guarantee you that if you're struggling with the feeling of you don't get enough setups or you don't make enough percent if you stay disciplined, if that's your biggest issue, then I can tell you that you will get more setups eventually if you continue to develop yourself and just not necessarily just trying to learn something new all the time. It could simply just be observing your pair or your whatever you're trading, observing that every single day live in the chosen session or sessions you like to trade, and backtesting that specific pair. If you just focus on one pair, one session, I know it sounds boring, but if you just focus on one pair, one session, I can guarantee you that by observing that, patterns will be recognized by your memory, by your brain, and you will eventually be able to trade that pair, that session more frequently. But that's something you can't rush. You have to ask yourself, the current pair, the current session you're trading, how long have you been observing that live? I'm not talking about only backtesting, I'm talking about you sat in front of the chart and observed that pair, that session live. If the answer is more than 6 to 8 months and you still feel like you don't get enough setups, then maybe that pair, that session isn't the best option for you. That could be the case. That was the case for me earlier. So I had to switch the pair and the session completely. Because trading shouldn't be that difficult. If you always feel like it's too difficult and you can't find setups, you can't, like, it doesn't work out, then obviously that's not good either. Because at that point, you're not a bad trader, you just trade the wrong pair, the wrong session for you. You have so many pairs, so many sessions. What I would do is, it's always hardest in the beginning, trying to find a new pair, a new session. And you may have to invest in a mentor, or you may have to like do some education on that pair, that session, to understand it and strategies. But eventually, once you've locked in for 6 months on that pair, that session, you don't have to work that hard at that point. You just have to observe it live and backtest, and you will find something that makes sense and that works for you. And at that point, it will become easier to just follow your plan to just trade without like not knowing what you're doing, and you will get your setups. If you're interested in my strategy, my live market analysis, there's a Discord link in the bio where I go over the market every single day, my trading strategy, where I think the price is going, what days I think are high probability days and low probability days, because that's the name of the game. Like, trading shouldn't be too hard for you in the long run if you observe one pair, one session. If it is, then maybe you need to reconsider that pair, that session. And at that point, it's just about staying disciplined, not doing too much outside of the setups you should be trading, and you will eventually get there. And you'll realize that once you get to a certain point, it just goes like really smoothly, and you get consistent setups, payouts, and you won't feel the need to trade outside of your plan anymore. Even though you see the market moving, you just simply don't care. So that's it for today. Good